Hi, welcome to class. My name is Don LaFon. You are in Cisco 1 CET 2600. I make videos every presentation every week. I make these videos for those of you that can't make the class. I also make the videos for students that are out on the internet, or just people that want to learn that are out on the internet. But I don't release this presentation, but I am ultimately I have to upload it to my channel for you to guys to watch it. I'll tell you there's a password, but if you've seen this video, that means you figured it out already. So I'm not going to go in depth on that. But anyways, let's go ahead. I'm going to overview Canvas. The assignments you're going to do in Canvas, there's just a couple of them. And I'm going to overview our syllabus, which is loaded in Canvas. And then I'll end this video. Then I'll go to our NetAcad class. That's where the majority of this class will happen, 98% of it. And I'll show you around there in a separate video. Let me go ahead and share the screen. So this is, you have already reached this screen. I know you have because, well, you should have at least, my in-class students. Oh, by the way, if you're here with me live and you have a question, post it in the chat room. And if I ask a question, every now and then I forget a word, and I forget some specific thing. I just ask my students to Google it, and then you put the answer in the you put the answer in the chat room, and that way I can have that answer. All right, so I'm setting up the my screen right now so I can see the chat room. All righty then. So here we are, Cisco 1. Now, the only thing that's in Cisco 1 is uh, the preliminary assignments. There's no networking assignments that are in our Cisco class. I mean, our Canvas classroom. You After this week, you don't come back to our Canvas classroom until week 9 or 10, I forget. But week 9 or 10, you're going to come back here and you're going to take a midterm exam. It's not really the middle of the term, but a subnetting exam using smarter proctoring. If you want to take the exam online, that exam will cost $4 or $11 depending on the semester. I haven't figured out why, but sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 11. A little while last semester was free. Maybe it'll be free for you. But if you take smarter proctoring to take your exam, there will be a small fee involved. Now, you don't have to take it through the small fee and smarter proctoring on your own computer. You can go to any of the testing centers and you can take it in person for free in the testing facility that are on I think it's 5 major campuses all have testing facilities. I took my CCNA certification using the Kent campus. It's a nice place, but, except you can't talk at all during the exam. You can't even ask the exam people questions. I got yelled at. They're worse than librarians. Anyways, here is the intro, and every week I make an announcement. This is what it will look like actually inside of our NetAcad classroom as well. But it basically introduces you to what's going on, and then it tells you what you have to complete. And then each day, when something changes, I have a habit of putting a note on the assignment instead of putting a new assignment out there. For example, once I enrolled you yesterday in, I guess it was today, but how did I do that? I don't know. But once I enrolled you in the class today, this morning, I guess, I went ahead and put a note here saying that you were enrolled and to force you to go look at your email to find the invitation. Anyway, so watch for those announcements. The other announcement I have here is the difference between CNT 2001C and CET 2600. CET 2600 is for those of you that want to focus on networking as a career, and it's a 3-class Cisco 1, 2, and 3 3-class package that you need to take before you can take and pass the CCNA certification. CNT is a 1 semester cert prep class for Net Plus. And if you're not going to be a network professional, then that's a good class to take so you can grab the Net Plus, put it in your bag, and then when you're applying for a job, you can say, hey, I'm Net Plus and A Plus. And which reminds me, A Plus, you guys finished the A Plus hardware and software maybe last semester. You need to practice and go take that A Plus certification before you forget that information. I didn't take it right away, and so I had no, that's not true. I took it right away. It's the Security Plus. I took the Intro to Security class, and then I didn't take the certification right afterwards, and then I forgot half the stuff I learned that semester. So you should go take the A Plus cert and watch Professor Messer's videos online. There's other people as well, but I watched all 150 10-minute videos by Professor Messer online, and I passed on the first attempt for the A Plus certification, and you can too. The school will actually give you a voucher, so you don't even have to pay for the exam. To get that voucher, I think you send a message to net@fscj.edu. I'm not positive about that, but net@fscj.edu will actually change to whatever the correct email address is. And if you don't get an answer back the first time, just send it again and send it again and send it again. Is it anybody reading this mail? Be an irritant, because the person that reads the email is a very, 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 very busy person and doesn't always respond to the email the first time they get it. So you might have to send it a couple times, or go into the ATC to where the faculty meeting faculty offices are on the second floor, and actually, ask there. There'll be somebody there, and you can get information, and then you can share it with the class. Go take the A Plus certification, and then down the road, I don't know if a year and a half from now, the CCNA cert the money will still be there. It's grant money that's paying for that stuff. But anyways, I used to say that CNT 2001 was an easier class. That is not true, because it's a broad basis of knowledge. You have to do a lot of easy assignments. So it's not hard to get an A in the class, but there's a lot of assignments. Here, you've got, in this class, 79 assignments, but they're more challenging because you're going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the Cisco world with routers and switches and configuring. We start off easy, we get deeper and deeper. By the end, you're able to build a small network using 2 PCs, 2 switches, and a router. That is the goal for this class. The other thing is attendance. You're watching this as a recording, so you missed the class probably. Those of you that are here, obviously you're here. The attendance, you have 2 options. If you've missed the class, come to class. Every Thursday night from 5:30 until 8:39, I give presentations, right? And I can answer questions, and I can interact with you. I start off, I usually, for the first 10 minutes or so, we just chat a little bit while we wait for the latecomers to come. Then, if you miss that class, then you still have to do attendance. I believe attendance is important. I think my presentations are important. You would have just taken an online class. There was some offered. And the online class, the teachers don't make presentations. You just need to read the book, right? I think my presentations are useful. I hope you do too. If you've gone to Rate My Professor, a lot of people find my presentations useful. So hopefully you'll give me a good evaluation on Rate My Professor at the end of the semester. Here we have the first option. You come to class, and then during class, I'm going to say some off-the-wall thing that you would never know unless you came to class, right? It isn't anything related to the equipment. So I think last night in my Cisco 2 class, I started talking about fiber cables because there were some fiber cables laying on the desk, and I had actually never, I knew what they were because I've learned them in this class, but I had never had all three different types of fiber cables in my hand. And so I picked them up. It interrupted me. I picked them up. I was like, look at this. I've never seen this before. And then I said, "Hey, sorry about that. I got distracted. Hey, why don't we use that for attendance?" And I'm sure somebody out there is going to be like, Professor LaFond is easily amused by fiber optics. I don't know, but we'll see. But it's something weird like that. It's never. You talked about um, fiber channel. Yeah, that was in my notes, but no, that's not the off the wall thing that I'm talking about. All right. Anyways, I always tell that later in the class because if I told you now, you could just leave and you would know the secret. So you got to hang out for a while. You don't know if it's going to be in the second or third one though, so you have to stick for both. And then I'll show you in Canvas where you. So the second option, you watch my YouTube video. It's a video, same video I make today, except I made them a year ago or so, and that I re-record every week just in case, like one video is flawless. I might upload it instead of the flawed ones that are out there. And what you need to do is you need to go to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. Let's click on it. This is my YouTube channel. It is the nature of technology, and you know what the nature of technology is. Something doesn't work, and you read the instructions on how to fix it, and you try it 4 times, and 4 times it doesn't work, and then you call somebody else over to do the exact same thing, and they do it, and it works, and you're like, what? I can't tell you how many students have called me over to the desk just for them to say it's working now. Over the 20 years I've taught, that's probably happened 1,000 times. And that's where I came up with it's the nature of technology. It's the nature of technology that in the middle of my video presentation, I will kick the power cord like I did on Monday night and disconnect my web camera, right? That's the nature of technology. Um, anyways, you can just go to playlist and then you see, I have lots of that you can't see. These are like when I was in VoIP class or when I'm now next after Net Plus, I'm going to work on CCNP and I collect videos to help me to learn the content. I love this guy. He's what is it? Chuck, Network Chuck. I love Network Chuck. He's fantastic. But my videos are here, Cisco 1 and Cisco 2. Cisco 1, you click on it, you miss class, here is the video. Now I want to point out that I think I've gotten better at the lighting. You can see I didn't realize that light up there was a problem, so now I have different lighting in my office. And so anyway, so you're going to have to deal with the poor lighting. The actual presentation is virtually the same. Like I said though, if I find that the video I make is better than the video I have out there, then I'll switch it out and I'll update the link in our classroom. What I ask you to do is like it, and then you need to watch the video first, watch the video, then like it, and then take a snip of it, right? Using the snipping tool or whatever you have in Mac. Take a snip. Make sure you get the thumbs up, right? Because that's what I'm looking for. Make sure it has the name of the class, and then save this and send it to me. This is your attendance. Now you might say, Don, why are you making me thumbs up your video? Well, if the instruction was just to go take a screenshot of the video, you can just literally go, you would be able to literally go watch the video or just open the video and take a screenshot of it and give it to me. And you would be giving me what I asked for, right? And that would not be cheating, right? But if you don't watch the video, then you shouldn't be taking a screenshot and giving it to me just for the points. The videos are useful, at least I think they are. So I ask you to thumbs up the video for 2 reasons. First, it's your promise to me that you actually watched the video. The second reason is it also helps me to get more people that watch my videos. Again, I have 750 subscribers, and I have not had 750 Cisco students in the last 5 years. So it's not all my students, it's other students. It's other people in the world that want to learn about networking and they find my videos. And I love that. I'm not, I love TikTok. I use it an hour a day, but I'm not on TikTok. I can't figure out what to make for videos for networking on TikTok. But this is where my gift to the world is, if you want to look at it that way. It also helps all the students that don't come to class. They can still get credit for coming to class. Now, in addition to just thumbs upping the video, you also you can gain. I can't follow myself, so I'm going to open up Network Chuck.
This is day one.
Anyways, Network Chuck's a great guy, and you can learn. I highly encourage you to learn more about networking through other teachers while you're working through the semester. Listen, like I do, to videos, like just the sound of videos, obviously, while you're driving instead of music. And you will learn a lot about networking that way, or read networking books if that's what you're into, and you'll learn a lot about that too. But what I want you to do is I want you to subscribe to me. So click on subscribe. I'm already subscribed to Network Chuck. If you're right now, you say, I don't have a YouTube account. Yes, you do. You have a Gmail account. Most likely, it's like 99% of the world has a Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail account, go get one. Anyways, your credentials for YouTube is your Gmail, your email for Gmail and your password for Gmail. That's what your YouTube credentials are, because Google owns YouTube. Anyways, so I want you to subscribe, and I want you to take a picture of that, and I want you to send that to me, and I give you a point on your overall average. So it's worth a lot. I'm always surprised by a student that doesn't want an extra point on their overall average, right? So you can get an A with just an 89 average, right? You don't have to get a 90 average, right? So here it is, day one. Here's a bonus point for you. Follow me, send that to me in the assignment. It's usually students that end up dropping the class at some point or stop doing their homework if they can't figure out how to subscribe in a YouTube channel and take a picture of it and send it to me for a point on their overall average. It's usually somebody that's probably not going to finish this class. If you just object to YouTube, then okay, I get it. But it's worth a point. You should do it. All right, that's everything about YouTube. That's where my videos are in YouTube. If you go use my link, and that's all there is about that. Let me move this so it's not in my... All right, so that's that. So let me go back to our Canvas classroom. So now in our Canvas classroom, there's only a few assignments on our Canvas classroom. I give you the syllabus. We're going to go through the syllabus in a separate video. Well, as I go through that video, if I make any changes to it, like if there's a point off or a date wrong or something, I'll probably catch it, and I will update this syllabus link. You can also see the syllabus by clicking on this button, and this gives you an introduction to the class, what we're going to cover, my contact information, and down at the bottom there's a link as well that will get you. That's under syllabus on the left-hand side. As for the actual assignments, there's only a few of them. First, this is a real assignment worth 10 points. The student contract. It says that you have reviewed the syllabus and all of the information related to this course that I provide to you. It also says that you have to have a computer in that, and you have to be able to use a computer. Basically, you have to use a mouse. You know how to use a mouse, and you'll be fine. Believe it or not, I've had students that don't know how to use a mouse. So that was back in this in the CGS 1100 days. That's not Cisco, because you had to get through A+ hardware and software. You know how to use a computer. You have to complete all the assignments on time. If you don't, your grade will suffer. I accept late work. My policy is if it's late and I have graded your fellow students' work, which I do on Friday morning, then you can submit it on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, before class, and you only lose 10%. And as long as you get it to me before the next class, it's 10% policy, 10% off. So you can still get an A even if you're late. But if you're 2 weeks late, it's 20%. Now, 30%, 3 weeks late, that's the most penalty I ever put on an assignment. So if you wait, some students love to wait till the end of the semester, and in the last 3 weeks, don't do it. Don't wait. You have to do it in 3 weeks. You can't do my whole class in 1 week. It's impossible. Even if you take the week off of work, every week in this class, you're going to be doing about 5 hours of homework. If you're really good about it, computers, then you're only going to be doing about 3 hours of homework. It's a lot of homework. Sometimes we have 10 assignments, and those 10 assignments all take you half an hour or an hour, and you're overwhelmed. That's why I accept late work, because it's not unusual for a student to fall behind. But don't fall far behind, right? If you're behind a couple assignments, it's not going to hurt you. But if you're behind 5 weeks, then it's really hard. At the end, you need to take 3 weeks where all you do is homework for 3 weeks for my class. You'll pass with a C. If you're that kind of person, then just pretend that the semester is going to end in 4 weeks, right? Just say, man, I got to get this whole class done before the end of June, right? And give yourself 5 weeks, right? 6 weeks, right? And then I got to get it done and do what you might as well, because if you're going to do the whole class in 3 or 4 weeks, why not do it in the first 3 or 4 weeks and get an A, then wait till the end and get a C, right? You're going to pass if you do all the work. You just got to do all the work. Yeah, that's enough about that. So the policy is 10% it's late, and I encourage you not to fall behind, because if you fall too far behind, I'll see you again the following semester. And although I love you, my students, I don't really want to see you again in the same class. I want to see you in Cisco 2, or whatever I'm teaching next semester. Cisco, I only teach Cisco in fall and spring. I also tell you that in the contract, when you open Packet Tracer, I'll show you this a little later. When you open up Packet Tracer, you need to add your login and your Netacad email and password. You have to. And the reason for that is because everything for this course, everything is online. Every single question on the multiple choice questions, they're all on Coursera. And Quizlet and itexamanswers.net and ccnav6.com. They're all out there. Every single packet tracer is out on the internet. Every single one is completed, but they all have guest as the profile name. So I've had students that are far behind. I even had a student in the 3rd week just give me all the packet tracers for the entire semester, and they all said guest. And I said, how did you do that all in 1 week? And the student said, I took a week off of work because I wanted to knock this out like you said in the beginning of the semester. I said, well, that's great, but you put guest in all of the credentials, and those are all online. I can't accept that. And I didn't have this policy in my syllabus and in my contract saying that I will give it back to you. In the first week, I give it back to you with, I'll take it in week 1 and week 2, I'll take it 10% off, because you really don't know. You should know, I talk about it. But in week 3 through 15, I will give it back to you with a score of 1. A score of 1 indicates there's something wrong with your assignment. A score of 1 does not indicate that you did really, really, really bad. I've had students ask me, well, how did I do so bad? Well, you just gave me a packet tracer with a score of 0, or you have guessed in the packet tracer, or you gave me the wrong assignment, right? You get a 1. If I give you a 0, then you think that, you you might have gotten a 0, and I've had students not even talk to me about their 0. So now I give them a 1. Everybody wants to know why they got a 1. And you have to say in this assignment that you have to say that you have reviewed the syllabus and that you agree to all terms in the student contract. That's what you can even copy and paste that into the box. I'm okay with it. And what that does for me is later in the semester when you submit packet tracers intentionally or accidentally with guest, and I send it back to you and say, hey, it says guest, sorry, you got to do it again. You can't say I didn't know. You do know. It's in the syllabus. It's in the contract that you signed saying you understood that. All right, that's enough about that. I always grade work on the day after it's due, so I won't grade tomorrow because there's nothing due tomorrow. It's all due next Wednesday at the beginning of class. I mean, next Thursday at the beginning of class at 5:30. I'm not going to grade at 9:30, whenever the class is over. I'm not going to grade at that time. So the next day is when I grade in the morning. I get my coffee. I sit down at my desk. I grade your work. Pet the dogs, and that's what I do during the day when I'm not out showing property. All right, so that is this. So what else we have for assignments? Oh, I already clicked on that button. So the next thing we have is registration. Once you have registered for Cisco, you just click on this link and say, I have registered for Cisco. I think that's all you have to write. I've registered for Cisco, which means you've signed into Cisco. And the reason why this assignment works is because, believe it or not, I had a student once in week 6 reach out to my boss, the dean, and say, Don LaFond isn't doing anything in our classroom, and I don't feel like I'm getting an education. Well, that student didn't read anything about Netacad, didn't click on the link, didn't come to class. I don't know what that student did, but they didn't know that we have a whole learning management system called Netacad, and everything is in Netacad. I think it was just a scam to get the school to pay them back. But now I make you put that you're registered here. And by doing this, hopefully in week 2, it doesn't cost anything. Netacad is free. All the content for the courses in Netacad and it's free. There's no reason to wait for a paycheck like in the hardware class, software class. This is free. So this tells me you've registered. So in week 2 or 3 or 4, if there's still somebody that hasn't done this assignment, I look to see if they did any work in Netacad. And if they haven't done any work in Netacad, then I actually reach out to them and I say, hey, why aren't you doing any work? Because I see that they're not registered. All right, you get the idea. Then it tells you how to log in. Basically, go to your FSCJ email, which you probably have done already, and click on the link that comes from Cisco. And it has the word Netacad in it, and it has Cisco in it. It says you've been enrolled in Netacad, Cisco, blah, 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 blah. So if you don't see that email, then search for it and it'll come up. If you register for this class late, like tomorrow, I don't even know if you can tomorrow, but if you register after I added students to the classroom, then you have to reach out to me and I'll talk to you about contacting me. You can send me an email right here using, in the first week, using the, I don't see it. Where is, I don't have a way, I have a discussion room, but I don't have a way for you to send me an email. Oh, it's over here. The inbox, use the inbox, send me a message and I'll see it. But hopefully all of you don't have a problem. All right, and then registration, how to get in, introductory and greeting. This is in Netacad. Student resources. This is the college's resources. Lots of good information if you're having issues. Here's a link to the library if you can't find it elsewhere. We use the library in this class for the discussion. And if you don't have, I require you to send me the files using Microsoft Office inside of Netacad. The PDFs, I want you to turn them, well, you can give it to me as a PDF, but most students give it to me as a Microsoft Office document. You Mac people, don't send it to me as a Pages. I can't figure out how to open it, and I've tried over the years. If you're going to send me a doc file, if you're going to send me a Pages file from Apple, also send me the instructions on how I can open it in Microsoft Office, because that's what I use to read it, right? Or some sort of Pages program, a program that PC users can use to open those files, because I haven't figured it out. I've tried many times. This is the middle of the semester. I'm going to go ahead and hide it, because there's no reason for you to do anything about the subnetting exam. I'll release it at least week 8 or something. If somebody really is going to do the entire semester in the first month, let me know. I'm okay with opening that up early for you guys. All right, so that is everything for this class. That's why I say I'm surprised when a student complained in week 4 or 5 that I was saying that there is that I'm not doing anything, because that is everything. That's everything inside of Canvas. We're done with Canvas. Now everything else is in Netacad. So I am going to I'm not gonna how long has this video been? Okay. 30 minutes. All right, let me go through the syllabus in this next 30 minutes, because it's kind of related to what I'm doing, and then I'll be able to um, make the second video our Netacad classroom. So let me make this a little bit bigger. Now, some teachers don't go through the syllabus, but the syllabus is our contract. It is what I use and what you should use to figure out what my policies are. What's my late policy? What's the schedule? What's due this week? That's all in the contract. So we meet live online every Thursday between 5:30 and like 9:30. Now you guys don't feel bad if I end class at 8 o'clock some week, because you got plenty of work to do. I encourage you to use the rest of the time I give you to actually. One moment, I have a question in the discussion forum. I don't know what they're talking about, but it looks like they're helping each other. That's great. But the our class goes from to 5:30. But if you want to do some homework afterwards, I encourage it. I don't sit here with you while you're doing packet tracer assignments and NetLab assignments, because everybody would be at a different pace. And how can I get you on a recording for 5 hours, because it's going to take you that long every week to do your homework, right? I'll tell you what to do if you get stuck on assignment in a little bit. This is the first of 3 classes to get you CCNA. Now, CCNA is not the end of your training. It's the basic level. There's actually another class that they just introduced under it, but this is the basic certification for CCNA. This is what they ask you if you're applying for a job in networking. They want you to have your CCNA certification. A+, they want you to have that certification because they want to know you have proficiency with computers. A+ will get you a job as an entry-level tech. CCNA will get you a job as a networking technician. Instead of 35, you'll get 45. So it's worth 10,000 to get that one certification. You're going to spend 4 to 6 hours every week. Like I said, 4 if you already know this stuff. Just doing it takes time. 6 if you're new and you really don't know this stuff. It's going to take you 6 real hours. Some teachers tell you that it's 6 hours and then it ends up being 30 minutes, right? No, this class will literally take you 4 to 6 hours of real work. I've taken this class twice. It took me 4 to 6 hours both times to get the work done. I don't remember how long. It's different weeks take more, not 4 to 6 hours per assignment, 4 to 6 hours to get all of the work done in any given week. The projects and tests and anyways. Read the syllabus. We're in the syllabus. Here is my YouTube channel. I showed that earlier. This is our classroom channel. You must have found that by now, I hope. You can call me. It's okay. My day job is a real estate agent. I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for 20 years. I mainly help students. I used to help girlfriends, but then I got married, so that kind of dried up. So I help students, and so my phone and other people too, family, and my phone rings all the time. If you get my answering machine, leave a message. Some people don't leave a message, but I don't call the phone number back just because it called me, because there's all sorts of scams out there where people call you, so you call them back, so then they can sell the product to you. So I don't ever call back just on a phone number. If you have a question for me and I don't answer the phone, then just leave a message, right? It's okay. Or text me, right? You got my phone number. You can text me. Hey, it's John. I'm trying to find out if Netacad's down because I can't get into it, right? I'll answer. I'll pull it up on my phone. Although I guess you could pull it up on your phone too. But anyways, that's just an example of a question. Do not send me an email at donlafon@fscj.edu. That is my email. Later, when you get a job and you're proud of it, send me an email. Later, when you pass your CCNA certification, send it to me. I love hearing the successes of my students. But I don't check my FSCJ email but about once a week. I go to your Netacad classroom, our classroom together. I go to that classroom every single day during the day. In the morning, I start off by swinging through the classroom and seeing if anybody has any questions. I go through all of the help discussion forums. I check for personal messages, and I do that for all 4 classes. Last semester, I had 6 classes. So I do it for all of the classes. So if you send me an email, I'm not going to get it until the next time I read email, which might be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days later, and you'll be mad at me. But I tell you not to use it unless you really need, like after the semester, or you really need, you can't get into Netacad. I'm not checking Canvas anymore after the first week. I don't know, you can't find my phone number because you didn't download the syllabus, and the only thing you can do is find me in FS. Sure, send me an email that way, but generally speaking, I don't check my email. Okay. Now weekends, let me say that I rarely check my email. I'm sorry, Canvas during the not Canvas, Netacad during a weekend. Just like some of you that work Monday through Friday, I have a full schedule Monday through Friday, and on Saturday and Sunday, if I'm not showing clients properties, then I am this weekend I'll be playing a video game. Diablo's coming out with a server slam on Friday at 3 o'clock. If anybody likes Diablo, that's going to happen this weekend, Friday and Saturday. You're not going to reach me because I'll be playing a video game for 48 hours straight, probably. So it comes out for real in June, by the way. Anyway, so if you send me a message on a Friday night in Netacad saying, hey, I'm stuck on step 5, and you send it to me via Netacad messages, I'm going to be like, on Monday morning, I'm going to say, sorry, I didn't read this over the weekend. And I'll tell you to put it in the help discussion forum, and let's see if anybody else has that problem. That's what I'm going to tell you. So I'll come back to that again in a little while. Contact policy. If there's something about the class that's wrong, like the exam, a good example is I don't enable any of the exams until halfway through the course. Well, until at least 2 weeks into the class. The reason, and the final I don't do until the end of the semester. And the reason for that is Netacad only lets me open up the exams for 90 days, but this has 15 weeks, which is actually no longer than 90 days by a little bit. So if I wait 2 weeks and I enable them all in the 3rd week, then they're open all semester. You can you take them on schedule, or if you take them late, you can do that. But if I open them before the course starts, then in the last week, when somebody's panicking trying to pass the course, then none of the exams are open, and I have to go in and separately open them for that person, which is a pain. Campus information. This is our class. We get the whole 15 weeks together. You have to know something about computers because you passed A+ hardware and software. We meet Thursday nights. I'm also in this class, same class on. No, I'm not on Wednesday. If you want to take your hardware class again on Monday and Tuesday, I'm in that classroom as well. But you can't just pop in and ask me a question because I'm actually teaching. This is a course, Basic Networking Concepts, the first of 3 courses. These are the learning objectives. I'll let you read those on your own. That is what you should know at the end of this course. If you're going to drop this class because you don't have 5 hours of time to do homework this semester because it's the summer and you plan on traveling and bathing in the sun at the beach, then you need to drop before Monday at 7 o'clock, because after that point, you're going to pay for your class, right? 500 I'm sorry. If you drop before July 13th, then you don't get your money back. If you do it before Monday, May 15th, then you get your money back. I don't want anybody to drop. I'm just saying, do it before these two dates. Well, don't do it at all before this date. Pass my class, right? But on the other hand, if you change your mind and you decide, I don't want to be a networking professional, I'd rather be a programmer, or I'd rather be a nurse, or I'd rather be a construction handyman. I had one help me out today. You decide not to do it, don't drop the class, pass the class. Do whatever you need to do, pass the class. Because if you get an F now, if you don't drop the class and you get an F because you just don't, in week 3, you decide, I don't want to do that class, and you get an F instead. That F is going to stay on your transcript forever. And then when you like go to a different college and you transfer in your credits, or even continue at this college, that F will always hurt your GPA. So drop the class, and then you get a W. It doesn't hurt your GPA. And if anybody ever asks you about it, you say, decided networking wasn't for me. I wanted to swing a hammer instead, or be a mechanic, or whatever. But reach out to me if you're deciding you want to drop, and we'll talk. Because I'm very understanding. We got 2 holidays. They don't. The college is closed, but it's Monday and Tuesday, so it doesn't affect our class at all. And we finish on August 22nd, like 6 days before the fall semester begins. So we'll get a couple days at the end to do that, to do the fun stuff in the summer. Instruction. Everything is in Netacad. I'll show it to you in the next video. Required textbook. There is no book, but there are required readings. I don't check those readings anyway, other than, can you do the packet tracer, and can you do the lab, and can you answer the multiple choice questions? Those are the only way I know you're reviewing the content or coming to class, or both. There is an optional book. You can get this on YouTube for on eBay for like $20, right? This is an extremely useful book because it has all the commands you're going to learn in Cisco, not just Cisco 1, but Cisco 2, Cisco 3, CCNP, CCIE, all of the classes. You're going to bring this out to the field as a Cisco networking tech. That'll be folded or be in your back pocket in case you can't get to the internet when you go to fix a computer or a network, something that's going on and it can remember your job is a network technician. So if the network is down and you go into an office and your phone doesn't have service and the network is down, so your laptop doesn't connect, you have to have a way to remember the messages for the content that you have to have a way to remember the instructions to fix the problem without running back out to the front door to update the next page on your phone, right? So this book will be in your back pocket, and it'll be really useful. At least a PDF on your laptop. We use only Netacad except for a couple early classes I mentioned, assignments I mentioned earlier. You have to have a reliable computer, and I like to say have a backup, so that if something's not working on your primary, and first thing I tell you to do is try a different browser. Believe it or not, Edge actually works really well with Netacad. At least I've had good experiences with it. I don't use Edge a lot, except for it works great with FSCJ. That's what I'm using tonight. And Google also works. My favorite browser is Firefox, but it doesn't seem to work with FSCJ very well. So you should have a reader for the PDFs, and a couple other programs should be installed, and those are some links to get those files. This, at the beginning of Canvas, is a My Computer Check link. I'll show it to you, and that will check to see if your computer is set up to use packet tracer. The final exam is a packet tracer exam. Obviously, I can't have you in person with me. So you're going to do a packet tracer final. And students get hung up on that final. I don't know why, but I always tell them, go rerun the system test program to find out what's lacking. If you have any accessibility issues, let me know. Extra time doesn't really apply to this class because everything is untimed. Even the final exam, they recommend 2 hours. I give you 3 hours. They recommend for the multiple choice exams, they recommend 1 hour. I give you 2 hours. So I already double the time. If you need more time than that, I can probably figure out how to give you more time than that. But everything's open all the time. You have an entire week to do each assignment, and even the quizzes are not timed. So it's not a I don't test you on your ability to do something under pressure. I just test you on your ability to do something. Learning communities, there's two types of questions. If the question is a general question about the course and policy, then ask in the question for the professor box. That's things like, what's your late policy, and are we having class Tuesday? Because Tuesday I heard that the internet's going down. I don't know, whatever. So that's questions for the professor. Now, there's also a module help form for every chapter, a separate one for each chapter. I'll show you that to you when we get to Netacad. But I want you to ask technical questions in the help discussion forums. I took this class 2 years ago. I'm sorry, I took this class 5 years ago, and I don't remember step 23 of lab 3.2.5. I don't remember it. It's been too long. So I'll give you some strategies when we go into Canvas of what to do when that happens. But I just want you to remember, if you're calling me and I'm driving down the street to ask me about step 22 on 3.1.4, then I'm probably going to say, ask in the help discussion forums, because your fellow students might have also had that problem. Okay, that's the answer I'm going to give you. There's no, if I know that there's a problem with any of the answers, I actually add it to the assignment. I say, read my instructions below, and then I say, students have had this problem. So if you run into a problem, you can tell me about it. But Cyber Cafe is for things like that are off topic, like the Diablo comment I had earlier. If you're going to play Diablo, use the Cyber Cafe and say, I'm in there. Let's group together. I think in Diablo 4 you can have more than 4 people together, at least in the world events. Anyways, there's lots of graded assignments. I'll show those to you. The tech notebook. Now, as you move through this course, I really believe that there's something special about handwriting commands. It helps you to remember those commands more than just typing them over and over and over again. It also serves as a quick reference guide. I used to give in-person final exams and allow students to have their tech notebook. Now, obviously, you can't have an in-person exam. So I still want you to have a tech notebook because many students have said that it was useful. On that tech notebook, you should have the configuration for a switch. You should have the configuration for a router. You should have 2 pages of show commands, at least one, and you should have basic subnetting information because you will refer back to those commands over and over again this semester. Now, I require you to have 10 pages of notes. So I just gave you an example of 4 pages that you should have. But I want to see 10 pages of notes over the course of the 16 weeks we are together. Now you can put it, on a standard 8 by 11 piece of paper, or you can use a smaller notebook. Here's a good size, I think. This is my birthday. It was my birthday last week, so I got a birthday card. Anyway, 2 weeks ago. But anyways, a notebook this size is also good because, first of all, you have less writing, but also this too can be folded and put into your back pocket as well if you want to take that with you down the road. But it's handwritten. At the end of the semester, don't bother to panic and say, I haven't taken any notes. Let me go copy and paste a whole bunch of stuff from the internet, because I'm not going to accept it. I'm telling you now, it's in the syllabus. Copy and paste does not count. It doesn't help you to learn anything, and you won't get that 2.5%. I'll give you a 1, and then I'll say, handwrite these and send it back to me. And I've never had a student handwrite the notes that they copied and pasted and give it back to me. I've said that before, but I've never had anybody actually do it. Graded discussions. So there's graded discussions. I'll show you that next week. Let me get to the class. Let me get to our Canvas classroom. I mean, our Netiquette classroom before I explain the graded discussion. But there are instructions in the syllabus about our graded instructions. Labs. You're going to complete 51 real and simulated labs. Each one of those labs is going to take at least half an hour. There are none shorter than that. So there's 25 hours of work right there. Now it's worth it to you, because those are all follow the instructions and do what it says, and it's worth 40% of your grade. So it's a nice big chunk of just do what they say. Packet tracer, you have to use packet tracer assignments. Cisco packet tracer, I've never seen that word before. I don't even know what that is, why that's there. I really don't know why that's there. Anyway, Cisco Packet Tracer is a great program to simulate networks. Now it's instantaneous. Everything's simulated, right? So it doesn't take long. If you forget to add your credentials, I'm going to send it back to you and say you didn't add your credentials. I'll show you what that looks like in the next video. But I'll give you a 1 and send it back to you, and it just says guest. And that's because these are all out on the internet with guest as the credentials. So I can't tell you actually did it if it says guest. But by the way, if it says guest and you put your name in there, it says we're going to reset your path. So even if you downloaded it from Dan's courses or ccnav6.com, then you have 100. But when you replace guest with your name, it goes back to 0. So, anyways, you got to do the packet traces yourself. Don't have mom do them, or dad if dad's a network engineer. We use NetLab in this class. I don't have a Cisco in-person class to do this, but so we use NetLab instead. NetLab is real equipment. As a network professional, you are going to work in a network operating center. Our college's network operating center is in the Deerwood Center, Old Bay Meadows Road, and Southside Boulevard. That has all of the connections and for our networks for the network for all of the campuses, the main stuff, right? The center. Now, when the technicians work out of that office, and when they have to configure a computer remotely, they don't get in their car and drive to the campus, South Campus, North Campus. They don't go. They just SSH or Telnet, hopefully SSH into the equipment, and then they configure it remotely. Access points as well. They just do lightweight access points. They just use a wireless LAN controller, and they just remote into that equipment. It's real equipment, and they're remoting into it to fix and configure whatever the problem is or solve the problem. NetLab is real equipment also at the Network Operating Center at Deerwood. It's real routers and switches. Now the PCs are simulated. So if the PC doesn't load up when you click on it, or you can't access it, if the PC is acting weird, that's because it's maybe the virtual machine is down for the PCs. Now that doesn't happen often, maybe once every 2 or 3 semesters. What does happen every now and then is somebody deletes the operating system on the switch. Now, don't delete, it's real equipment. So it takes 5 minutes to load. It's not slower than Packet Tracer. It is slower, but it's not slower because Packet Tracer is better. Packet Tracer is simulated, right? It's slower because it's real routers, and real routers take 5 minutes. Real switches take 4 minutes to load. So click on the router and the switch when you go into NetLab, and then Go tell your wife you're doing homework, or your husband that you'll be done by the time he finishes making dinner or whatever. And then come back and your routers will have all booted and you'll continue on. Now, if the switch says, when you click on it, if it says, and you type your commands, enable config T, and it says unknown error, unknown command, and you know it's enable and configure terminal, then that's a symptom that the operating system has been deleted by one of your fellow students. Now, what you'll do if that happens is you'll just switch pods. There's 8 pods. Just go to pod 3. Its switch is probably working fine. And then in the classroom, in the help discussion forum, tell us that pod 2 is down, it looks like, because you get it, and then say whatever the error message is. And now a second student will say, yeah, I noticed that. And then I'll reach out to Doug. He's the network engineer that will reload the operating system. There's a lot of things that happen with that equipment, or any equipment, but it's real equipment. And just like you're going to work out of a network operating center, remoting into all of your corporate sites, that's what you're doing in this class. You're remoting into NetLab. It's real equipment. You're just getting a chance to work on it remotely. Please don't complain about NetLab. The alternative is for you to take this class in person with me. And there's all sorts of reasons why you took it online instead of in person. It was offered in person, but you took it online. And if we didn't have NetLab, then we would be in person only, because you have to be able to work with real equipment in this class. It's a requirement by Cisco Netacad. Now, if you have your own equipment, I've had students say that, I've got my own router and switch. I did it at home. It's like, okay, I need you to prove that to me. And the way you prove it to me is to give me the actual startup configuration files for every piece of equipment that you use. So if you go to, and you can go to the ATC, I forget what room it is. It used to be in 212, but they moved it someplace like 224 or something. It says open lab. Go into the open lab, get yourself a router and a switch, configure the whole thing, do the lab there. Great. You get hands-on equipment that way. I love that, right? Don't wait till Cisco 2. Go do that if you want, right? They close at 6:30 Monday through Thursday. I don't know about Friday. Anyways, go do that at least once, and then you can actually have your hands onto the equipment. But you have to give me the running configuration, the startup configuration. You have to give it to me for each piece of equipment in a Word document, and say that you use the equipment at the NOC, at the ATC, or you use the equipment at your work. Your work lets you work on not on production, obviously, but maybe they have a practice sandbox of Cisco routers and switches, and they let you use it. Great. But you need to give me those configurations to prove that you actually did it. Students will tell me anything to pass this class. And I know I've had students say, oh, I have my own equipment. Well, I tell you in the instructions that you have to give me someplace here. It says you have to give me a copy of your configurations. It's actually in here someplace. I just can't see it here. Where the equipment you use, the router and the switch models, and then you have to give me the a text document with a copy of the running configuration. So it's in the syllabus, and you said you're going to sign a contract saying you read the syllabus. So you can't say, I did all the labs in my own equipment. No, I'm not going to believe it, because all of the information is all on the internet, already done, and I don't accept you just copying and pasting that to pass my class. There are 6 exams. They used to make these 6 exams 40% of your grade, but I know that a Quizlet has every single question that is on these multiple choice exams. Why they have that 40% of your grade is ridiculous, right? So I changed it around. I gave more credit to doing the 51 labs, and these labs, they're still worth 10%. The multiple choice questions are worth 10%. I want you to do it yourself. So I give you 3 attempts at the exam, highest is saved, so that you actually don't and they're 2 hours long to answer the quiz. It's really way more time than you need. I don't mind you looking up answers. If you don't know the answer to the question, don't don't just go to Quizlet and get the answer, right? Because you're not going to learn anything that way. If you don't know the answer, go to Cisco, right? Go to YouTube, go into our classroom and look up the answer. I am perfectly okay with that. No problemo. I had a student once say, well, I just assumed it was closed book. Well, I tell you, it's not closed book. It's closed. It's closed uh, Quizlet. It's closed itexamanswers.net. And the reason why it is because you don't learn anything when you go to Quizlet. If you don't put your brain to work trying to figure out the answer, and if you don't know the concept, looking up the answer and learning more about it, then going to Quizlet is not going to teach you the answer. You're just going to remember B, right? And you'll remember C. That's all you remember. It's completely useless. If that, I'll tell you this. This is what I'll tell you. If you're in week 13, right? And we're in week 13 and you're still on week 4, right? And you need to pass this course, do whatever you need to do to pass the course, right? Do whatever you need to do, but change your major, right? Because if you need to learn this stuff because Cisco 2 builds on this and Cisco 3 builds on Cisco 2. They don't teach you subnetting in Cisco 2. They just expect you to know how to subnet. I need 4 networks of 50 addresses and I'm given a /24. Can I do that? The answer is yes. You can have /26s. They each come with 64 addresses, 62 usable, and I can have 4 networks. You need to be able to do that from your head when you get out to the field, right? At the beginning, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is really confusing. And it is. It took me years to get to the point where I can just do it in my head, VLSM, without even thinking about it. It's really super easy for me because I've taught this for 5 years, right? But I have a video that's all about subnetting. I actually make 3-hour-long videos about subnetting because it's so important. And I bring in all sorts of tools to help you to learn how to subnet. Watch the videos. Don't just say you watch them, right? But if you wait till the last 3 weeks of the semester, then just change your major, right? If you're using Quizlet, change your major. But you need to learn this stuff, not A, B, C, D. Getting an A in my class is super easy. Every answer is out on the internet, but passing your CCNA, I thought I failed my CCNA when I took it. When I hit submit, I just knew there were way too many things I didn't know when I took that exam, or I knew, but I didn't know the exact. Like they asked the pin layout on a T560. It's not type 568. It's like 586 or whatever that number is. Somebody can put it in the chat room. What's the pin layout on a RJ45 cable, Cat5 cable, Cat5e cable? Anyways, you can help me if you want to, if you're paying attention. So there were way too many questions that I didn't know, like the color codes for that connector, and I knew I got that question wrong. At least I suspected I did. And I hit submit and I passed. I was so relieved. At that point I had taught it for 3.5 years, right? If you just took it once and you used Quizlet, you're gonna fail the CCNA exam if Quizlet is how you answered all the questions. Believe me, it's a hard test. There are assessments. Now, these assessments, all of them together are worth 20% of your grade. There's 3 of them. There's a midterm subnetting exam, which is proctored. You can do it online. I'll set up smarter proctoring for you, or you can do it in person at a testing center. And then at the end of the semester, there's a packet tracer final that I give you multiple attempts at, and then a multiple choice final. Each one of these exams is worth, and then actually there's 4. No, there's 3. This is Cisco 1. Yeah, there's 3 exams. And there's a multiple choice exam, and then there's the packet tracer final. So that's at the end of the semester. Don't worry, I'll get you ready for it. You'll be ready for those exams. All 3 of them are worth 20% of your grade. That's 6.66%. If you just say, I don't know how to subnet, I'm not going to do it, well, you're basically giving up an A. You're not going to get an A in this class because you'll lose other points in other things and you won't get an A. Do it. Go Learn how to subnet, go subnet. Even if you're not 100%, I give partial credit on that exam, so you'll get some points for taking it. Ungraded work. There's lots of stuff in Netiquette. That's why I'm going to make a whole nother video to show you where to find this stuff, right? This stuff is ungraded. So in addition to the 79 assignments that are graded, there's 35 animations and 26 videos and 12 interactive activities and these 10 syntax checkers, super helpful, and 17 module quizzes that are just getting you thinking along the lines of taking a test, but none of this actually counts for work, but it's all really important. This is the breakdown in points, 79 total assignments, not including the 10 for attendance. So there's really 89 assignments. I grade, just finish the course, right? Pass the course. I've given like a total of 10 I's in the entire time I've taught, 20 years, and it's all been like I broke my arm or I got COVID or something like that in the last week and I couldn't take the finals. If you're halfway through the content and you have a 42 average, I can't give you an I because you need to have most of the content complete. You shouldn't strive for repeating a course, but if you get a D or an F, you need to take it again. So to be able to go on to Cisco too. Don't cheat. When I'm talking about Quizlet and Course Hero, that's cheating in my book, right? Plagiarism. If you're just going, every single PDF or every single assignment in this class is all out on the internet. Every answer. I don't want you to give me the right answer. I want you to give me your experience. If you go to itexamanswers.com, it has all of the PDFs already completed, all of them. And all you need to do, if you're cheating, all you need to do is copy and paste what it says from the answer key into your PDF and then give it to me. But I'll tell you that I don't always catch it, but when I grade your work, I open the answer key and then I open your answers right next to it because I don't remember what all the answers are on all the PDFs. There's a whole bunch, 51 of them, right? So I have the answer key open. I have your answer key. If your answers are word for word with the answer key, I give you a 0. I give you a 1, and I say, please go do this yourself because using the answer key that's online is not going to help you pass the CCNA certification. I'll do that. You can do it again, but don't do that. That's cheating, right? Plagiarizing. You're plagiarizing somebody else's work. Somebody in CCNA V7, some unscrupulous, I don't know, unscrupulous person that's a teacher. The CCNA V7 was out the very first semester that CCNA V7 was out. I started with CCNA V6, but the very first week CCNA V7 came out, somebody had already uploaded all of the PDFs online, and the answer keys that I have, they had uploaded it for the students. I don't want the right answer. I want your experience. So let's say there's a table and it asks you 4 questions and the answer is yes, 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 no on the answer key, right? But I don't want you to have the right answer. I want you to have your answer. So if your experience was yes, no, then put it down as yes, no, right? If you couldn't get SH into the equipment, say, no, I couldn't SSH into the equipment, right? Tell me your experience because that's what I want to know. I want to know you're doing it. I want you to know your experience. I don't want the right answer. If you give me an answer, I mean, it has to be on topic, right? You can't say, oh, yeah, I just watched The Mandalorian. It was a lot of fun. That can't be the answer to any of your questions, right? You won't get credit for it. But if the answer is on topic and it's just not what I was expecting, then you're giving me an honest response, and that's what I want. Okay? All right. That's enough of plagiarism. Attendance, already talked about it. Now, I didn't say it's worth 10% of your grade. I told you that already. And you're going to do 12 of them, I think, or 10 of them or something like that. Now, I allow you, I know life happens and you get a little crazy. This was back when we met in person. I would let students miss 2 classes and still get the 10 points because I know life happens, right? But I would also say if you make all of the classes, then I would give you 2 points on your overall average. And people 3 points. No, 2 points. 2 points on your overall average. Here it is, grade 2 points, a boost. And I used to love doing that. And so when we all went online for the pandemic, I realized that at first I actually met in person during the pandemic in the summer of 2022, I think. They made us all go. That was the semester before they let us, summer 2021. And I actually taught in person, and I didn't want sick people to come to class. So I just told people that they would watch my video, it would count. And then I've just kept that going because it makes sense. I don't need you here with me to watch this video, watch me make the video. Just watch the video afterwards. Either way, you get me talking, right? And that's the important thing to learn this content. So I still kept it going. If you submit the picture of my video with the thumbs up, and you come to some of these videos, if you can, and you get all of them, then you're going to get 2 points on your overall average. Well, I already told you that you can get 1 point for liking my video, for subscribing to my video channel on YouTube. So, and 2 points here, that means now, and I round up anything. So if you get an 89 anything, then I give you an A. If you get a 69 anything, you'll pass my class with a C. Well, if you did all the attendance, all the thumbs ups and the video pictures, or you came to them all and you just gave me the secret password, then you would get 2 points, and you followed me 3 points. Well, now you really only need 69 something minus 3. Now you really only need a 66 something to pass this class, right? Or an 86 something to get an A. All right? Does that make sense? I'm all about you passing and be. If every one of you gets an A, fantastic. I usually have about 40% of my Cisco 3 students get an A, and my Cisco 2 students, it's about 65% that get an A because they're in it for real. They're looking at getting a job in a soon period of time. They're more serious about it. I already told you about late work. It's okay, 10% per week. You don't have to get permission. Just send it in late. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you send it in late after Friday, you got to wait for me to grade all your work again the following Friday. And the reason for that is because Netacad doesn't give me a prompt when you submit work. I have to go through every single assignment looking to see if anybody submitted work. Really time consuming, so I only grade your class on Friday morning, and it takes me a couple hours. Well, at the beginning of the semester, it's not that bad. By the end, it takes me a couple hours just to grade your work. Expectations. I want you to treat your fellow students with respect. In the real world, in your home, you are surrounded by people that think the exact same thing. You make friends with people that believe the same thing. But college is about you having different experiences. And you're going to hear things that you don't agree with. It's okay, right? Research it if you want, or ignore it if you want. It's okay. You don't have to slash my tires if you don't agree with something I say or do. Well, hopefully I don't do anything that bothers you, but if I say something, for example, I actually voted for Trump. I thought he was a great choice because I'm a business guy, and I voted for Ross Perot back in the day. I thought a business person would really know how to run our country, so I voted for him. He tricked me ultimately. I'm not saying he didn't do anything good during his time in office. He did a lot of good things for our country while he was in office. But when he was voted out, he tried to overrun our government and impose himself as the next president by changing electorates, right? I thought he was okay as a president, but I don't want to even think about voting for him again. If I voted for him again, he could become Putin, right? He could just say, "Hey, I won," and stay in office, right? He could try to do what the dictator of China, who says he's a president, but he just changed the rules so he can stay in an office as long as he wants, right? It's possible. We are a democracy. We can change the laws. Um, I don't even want Trump near the office again because I'm afraid of what he would do 4 years from now. I'm sure he would do good things between now and then. But if we don't vote for him again, if we don't let him run, if we don't, what what would he do the second time we? I can't even imagine it. So there's no way he's getting my vote. DeSantis, if he runs against Trump, will get my vote because although DeSantis keeps my pay down, so he actually hurts me financially directly because he decides how much money colleges get from to pay for their teachers. He's done good things for the state. A lot of good things, I think. He's done some weird things like that "don't say gay" thing. That's stupid. But I think the what I believe, it's good for people to hear what I believe, right? And it's good for me to hear what you believe. It's good for us to talk. And then you can go away and believe whatever you want to believe. You don't have to believe what I believe. You believe whatever you want. Right now, they're all gray boxes. Right now, I have people in this room that love Trump. I know it. I was there with you, guy or girl. I was there with you 6 years ago, right? Or at least 3 or 5 years, whatever. But there's other people in this room that think I'm an idiot because I voted for him the first time. Never mind that I want to vote for him again, but they're like, why do you vote for him, right? And there's a lot of you maybe in this class that believe the same thing. You're afraid of what he would do the next time he doesn't get to stay in office. I don't know. But I give that as an example because that is really polarizing and it really talks to this whole expectation of student conduct, right? Whatever the topic is, you're going to hear things you don't believe. You're like, that's crazy. And instead of just walking away and saying the person's an idiot, try to understand the people around you and you will be a better person. When you get a job someplace, you're going to be surrounded with a lot of people that believe differently than your circle of friends and family. Success. Set aside 12 hours of study each week, right? When are you going to study? I am going to study I'm taking 2 classes, a capstone and a programming class. I'm going to study on Friday. Now, normally it's all Friday until I'm done, but tomorrow it's only Friday until 3 o'clock, and then I'm playing a video game. And then Sunday, when it's over at 3 o'clock, if I haven't finished my homework, I'm going to finish my homework on Sunday. So I'm allowing for those periods of time that are going to add up to 12 hours for myself, right? That's you should, and then don't let anything get in the way of that. You really have 5 hours of homework. You can't just say you're going to do it at 3 o'clock on a Thursday because it's going to take you longer than 5 hours probably to do the work. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Lots of college resources, including a tech help desk. Now, this tech help desk can only help you with FSCJ stuff. Netacad stuff, you have to reach out to me, and then I have to reach out to Netacad if I don't know the answer. And that's because Netacad gives the colleges Cisco gives the colleges Netacad for free. There is no tech support money, so they don't charge you. So they don't want you calling Netacad and saying blah blah blah. Why is step 22 not working on packet tracer 3.1.4? So they have you go through me to get to them. All right. Learning columns. This is another link to that library where you're going to need for the graded discussion. Now we're at the end of the syllabus. This is the schedule. Now I don't have every assignment in this schedule. I just have the modules we're going to cover every week. So this week, the intros and module 1. Next week, we're going to cover the how to do a graded discussion and module 2. And also how to do NetLab, how I grade NetLab. So this week, you can expect it to be a little bit longer. We'll be done by 8:30. This week, just one presentation, 8:30. This week, 2 presentations, so it's going to be more like 9:30, right? 2 weeks here, 2 modules here, 2 modules here, 1, 2, 1. Here's the last day to support. Just think around 4th of July, that's when you have to be caught up and know whether or not you're going to complete this class. And in this class, I get about a 25% drop rate, especially in the summer. Sometimes it's 30%. I'd rather you drop and get your money back now if you can't commit to 5 hours of homework each week. Just drop the class now. You get your money back and take me again in the fall. The same class, same policies. So hope, and I'm lenient. Um, anyways, instead of dropping now and losing your money and then having to take me again. 2 modules. Okay, so here we are. I want you to see this on the 27th, 7/27. I am going to give you module 16, one presentation. Now the next week, 8/3, you are going to take 2 practice final exam, one for the packet tracer, one for the multiple choice. That's all you have to do that week. I give you 5 attempts for both. You can take those as many times as you want. You got to take them at least once because I count not the grade you get, but the fact that you took it towards a lab grade. So there's 2 lab grades, and there's 51 labs. Count these 2. So probably a little less than, and 40%. So it's probably a little less than 1 point, but they're really easy. You can take this and you can get an 8, or you can take it and get an 80, and you still get 100% for the lab. But you got to take it. Don't give me a 0, right? If you get a 0, do it again, right? I don't want a 0. I don't want you to open it up and close it and say, yep, did it. No, I want you to actually do it. I'm giving you a whole week to do it, right? That is on the 3rd, that week. So it's also, if you're behind here, it's a good time to catch up. The following week, we meet, right? And you're like, well, Don, why don't you do module 12 before you do the 2 practice exams? And the reason is very good. This week, I am in New Orleans. Oh, sorry. My mouse froze on me. I don't know why I did that. I know I'm a technician. I should fix it. Anyways, so I'm in New Orleans this week, and so I don't want to not grade your work. I don't want to try to do a video on my laptop in New Orleans, which I could do. It's inconvenient. I like my layout here. This is what how I like to do my presentations with the right lighting and everything. So it's okay. You don't need build a small network to do the practice exam. Okay. If you do feel that way, well, then the following week we'll learn this, and then go back and take it again if you want. You get 5 of them. Do 2 before week 14, and then do 1 after week 14. I don't care. And then the last week of the semester, week 15, we also don't meet. And we don't meet because you're just taking an exam. And I can't sit here on the webcam watching you take an exam. That's silly, right? So we just don't meet that week. You have to submit your tech notebook, but you do that online. You have to take these 2 exams, but you do that online. They're not proctored. You just take them whenever. Matter of fact, you can work ahead in this class and do as much of this work as you want early. So when I said that we finish on the 22nd of August, giving you like 4 or 5 days before the end of the semester, in reality, you could take your final exam this week, right? And then come to class on the 17th, or watch the video. You can watch the video, you can even watch the videos early because they're all recorded from a year ago. So you can watch the video, and then you can give me the thumbs up and submit it. You could do that back here in July. Back here in July if you want, right? What's your schedule, right? If you know you're going on a cruise, don't go on the cruise and fall behind. Do the work ahead of time and then go on the cruise and enjoy yourself, right? Otherwise, you're going to be worried. Probably not, but you could be. Anything I missed? I don't think I missed anything. But if you have a question, ask a question in the help discussion forum. Question for the professor is the best place to answer. Ask a question about the syllabus. I'm going to end this video now, and I'm going to ask the students that are with me if they have any questions, and then I'll start the second video in about 5 minutes. So you guys can start the next video right away. But anyway, so that is the syllabus. Let me stop that. And I didn't see anything to change except that one weird word, mobile. So I'll fix that in the syllabus. And I'm going to stop sharing right now. And so you should have me again. Anyways, hopefully that's helpful. It's important for you to understand the syllabus. That's why I go over it. I give you lots of good information about being successful by going over the video, going over the syllabus. All right, that's it for this video. Don't go anywhere, students. I still have another video for you guys to make in a little bit. So I'm going to end this, and thank you for coming up to class. I appreciate it.